Okay, so Dustin, now we move back. We're probably about, I don't know, 20, 25 yards out, right? And you said it's another area you kind of struggle with, mostly contact still, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, tell me a little bit about your thoughts. I mean, do you feel there's some similarities to what you're doing with the chipping that could be causing some of your issues here with pitching?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that it's the same issues. I'll have, sometimes I'll chunk them and the occasional skull, but mainly it's just contact issues, and I think it is pretty much identical to what we were working on over there. I've probably taken a little too much of a scoop angle at it, and caused me to have some real issues.
Okay, so we'll keep working with the angle of attack. We are going to have to start hinging our wrists a little bit now, so the swing's obviously going to be a little bit longer, right? And when we do hinge our wrists, it's going to give us a little bit more height on the shots, which we need because we need the ball to stop, right? We can't hit a super low shot from here because if we do, the ball's just not going to stop in the green, right? So let me see you hit a couple shots. What I'd like you to do is I want you to keep the same focus of taking the club a little bit away from you, and we still need to have that feeling that we're swinging down at the golf ball and maybe trying to hit that spot in front of the golf ball still to get away from that scoop shot, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's do it. Okay, so to keep building off of what we've been working on, we're going to talk a little bit about your lower body. This is still going to help with the path of the club, and hopes it's going to help you keep coming from inside out to the right. And so one thing that I'm seeing as we come through from the top, you've got a lot of lower body movement, which is good. It has positives, but the tendency sometimes for you, especially when you get stuck, right, when you can't turn through, is that your right knee really flexes a lot in coming through. And what that does is basically, you can see what it does is it makes my body tilt this way. So watch what do you think would happen if I go from here and my knee really flexes in? Where's the club going to go? Right, it's going to go back and then it's going to go from inside out to the right, right? So I want you to take a couple practice swings. I still want you to turn your hips, right? We still need that to happen. But let's try to see if we can keep our right leg a little bit taller as we're coming down. And we're still going to be driving with our hips, right? Sure, there's going to be flex, but let's try not to have so much over-exaggeration with that knee. So it's almost like you're going to keep that right knee just a little bit straighter. And what that's using to force you to stay on that plane line a little bit longer and help you get to finish a little more left.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Take a couple practice. Okay, so Dustin, the last thing I think I'd like to talk to you about with your driver particularly is you even said you have a little bit too much spin on the ball, and I would agree with that. That's not just side spin, it's almost sometimes back spin, and I would like to see if we can get a little bit more of that knuckleball effect off the driver, and how we're going to do that is we got to swing a little bit more upward at the ball than what we're doing now. It might seem counterintuitive because I told you not to dip your right knee, right? But you can still swing up at the golf ball. Now, the concept of hands finishing high and left, that should help. But what we need to understand is that if our driver comes at the golf ball with a downward motion, it's going to put a ton of backspin on it. So even if the ball starts your tar line, it could either come up short or it could spin off of its target, right? So I'd like to see us get a little bit less spin off the driver. So the first thing I would recommend that we try is let's move the ball position just a tiny bit upward. Okay? Okay. Because even still there, so you see, one, the distance difference too, right?
Yeah.
But even though it turned just a little bit off your target line, it didn't turn dramatically, right? So it still didn't have as much spin. So let's do that again, okay?